Hi, it's Raj Bapala, co-founder and CEO of Applaa. As a parent, we want to give the best experience for our kids. I've got two kids, 11 plus, and other one is doing GCSE exams. So we've spent a lot of time and a lot of money for tuitions, 40, 50 pounds a class and math, science, and English, and many things. And also we've tried our platforms and people saying, okay, use Atom Learning, iExcel, and this and that. And they're okay, but at the end of the day, you're paying 40, 50 pounds for them, and it's really not working out. It's just like only one, and again, where do you go for the next, right? And it's just like a simple mock exam practice, it's there are so many things you can do. It's not really a comprehensive feedback mechanism tool, right? That's what I think. I got really frustrated with all these tools, and again, spending with teachers and tutors is not really working out. So here, that's why we built Appla with the vision of actually helping kids as early as, like from year 8 years onwards to all the way to the GCSEs. We've got the whole curriculum built. Again, we've digitalized the whole UK curriculum here. So, and actually we're giving a value only 9.99 a month, 10 pounds, right? What is that? Is the cost of a pizza, even less than that. And so we want to give that a best experience for everyone. You can really see from year 4 to year 11, they can see every single subject, math, they can able to look at this lesson. They can practice but understand the concept first rather than writing an exam for the sake of writing. And then you can able to do a lot of practice also. Then, what is this thing? And then you can see the assessment and whatever you wanted to do. And you can do a lot of things again each year, year 4, year 5, year 6, all the way to there, right? And that's about it. And also you can, once you have there, then probably, most people will go for 11 plus, which obviously you can really see. And yeah, so we have built a comprehensive 11 plus past papers, around 5 dozen papers we have. And again, four topics: verbal, non-verbal, math, and English. So you can able to see pretty much everything. You can take exams. Also, you can get the feedback. Also, you can see how many exams you've been taking. And these are the exams I've been taking, verbal reasoning, and also you can really give the feedback by the subject, by lesson, and at least it will give you a really great feedback for the parent and also teacher for obviously if he's having a teacher and also parent and the kid for writing them as well. You can do quite a lot of things as well. So an example, let's take an exam for verbal reasoning. So you can really see that it actually I did an exam math for now before it actually tells you where you got right, where you got wrong. It's really great, right? As a parent, you cannot able to tell, what is the correct answer, right? So you can able to do, and it's brilliant, isn't it? So it just saves a lot of time. A lot of institutions are charging 40, 50 pounds, even for a paper sometimes, cost like that. And we're giving for free 5,000 questions, right? And many unlimited questions and papers they can do, all for 9.99. And they can do practice again if you want to do it. Just simply go and write an exam, and you can able to see submit papers. You can directly see as well, and the results coming through. As an example, let me go back and show the exam as well. So if you see some of the exams what I've done just now, you can see that exam coming through as well. You can really see the results. So it's just brilliant way to actually get the feedback as well as assessments for the kid who is writing the exam and studying, as well as for parents not to spend too much time for them to sit with them and write down exams, and also more importantly the cost. And we'll explain a lot also all of this in subsequent videos. You can also see that as well. I really trust this is valuable, and take advantage of this offer. It's only 9.99, which is a significantly lower cost. Anyone can able to afford it. It's a cost of a small pizza these days, and compared to 40, 50 pounds a tuition class. And I truly trust this is helpful for you. And yeah, sign up at applaa.com/UK, applaa.com/UK, and register for free. And it's 1 month free as well for you guys. So make use of it. And if you're writing the 11 plus exam, all the best. And again, we'll explain further details also in the subsequent videos. Thank you for watching.
Welcome, everyone! If you're a focused learner trying to help a Year 5 or 6 student navigate their grammar school journey, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're bringing you a comprehensive explainer on a topic that honestly causes plenty of sleepless nights for families, and that is the 11 Plus Kent test. Now, it can absolutely feel like a daunting hurdle, but with the right structure and preparation, it's actually highly manageable. Okay, let's dive into this.
Here's exactly what we're going to cover today. First, demystifying the Kent test. Second, the 2 test papers. Third, practicing with Applaa mocks. Fourth, inside the question types. And fifth, understanding your final score.
Section 1. Demystifying the Kent test.
Look, we have to acknowledge right out of the gate that the 11+ entrance exam process for grammar schools in Kent carries some really high stakes. For a lot of parents and students, the pressure can feel pretty intense. But remember, the very first step to conquering any challenge is simply understanding what it actually is. You're going to hear this exam referred to by an acronym quite a bit. The Kent test is officially known as the Procedure for Entry to Secondary Education, or PASC for short. This is the official 11+ selective entrance exam. It's used exclusively by grammar schools in Kent, England, and the kids take it right at the start of year 6. Ultimately, this single procedure is what determines whether a student is deemed suitable for a grammar school education. And because it happens right at the start of year 6, all that heavy lifting and preparation really has to happen throughout year 5.
Section 2. The 2 test papers.
So the crucial point here is how this test is actually built. The Kent test is essentially split into 3 main components. First up, you have Paper 1. This covers English and mathematics, and it consists entirely of multiple-choice questions based on the core school curricula. Then there's Paper 2, which shifts gears entirely into reasoning. This includes verbal, nonverbal, and spatial reasoning. Finally, there's a writing task. It's a short writing exercise, and here's a really interesting detail about it. It's typically unmarked. However, it's kept on file and used by head teachers specifically for borderline cases, which makes it a critical tiebreaker if a student is right on the edge of the pass mark.
Section 3. Practicing with Applaa mocks.
And this brings us nicely to the Applaa platform. When you're preparing for something as highly specific as the PSE, you really need a comprehensive stress-reducing solution that lets students practice under exact exam conditions. Applaa is designed to digitally replicate the exact demands of the 11+, which gives students a really safe space to build up their confidence long before the big day. The interface of the platform is incredibly user-friendly. It prompts you to choose your target school, and right there in the middle, you just select Kent Test PSE. Once you select that, it perfectly mirrors the structure we were just talking about. It breaks the mock down into 2 distinct sections. You have English, which combines reading and the short writing task, featuring 45 questions that need to be completed in 60 minutes. Below that, you've got the reasoning paper, bundling verbal, nonverbal, and maths into another 60-minute session with 40 questions. It's brilliant because it takes all the guesswork out of how long they should be practicing and what the exact mix of questions should be. Let's move along and see how this builds into the actual mock experience. The Launchpad tracks your progress, showing 0 out of 2 papers completed. This gives a seamless flow into starting a full mock test under real, strictly timed exam conditions. And having that digital clock ticking down on the screen is absolutely essential because time management is very often the hardest skill for a 10 or 11-year-old to master.
Section 4. Inside the question types.
And this brilliantly illustrates the kind of mental agility expected of these students. Take a look at the English reading comprehension question. The passage describes a fragile package arriving at Sophia's house with a crushed corner, but the glassware inside actually survived intact. The student is then asked to infer what this suggests about the manufacturer's choice of packaging. They really have to read between the lines to realize the packaging was designed with sufficient protection despite that external damage. Then contrast that with the verbal reasoning code-breaking question. Suddenly, they're plunged into something like, if the code for paper is SDSHU, what does VWLII mean? The student has to rapidly identify the letter-shifting pattern and then apply it in reverse. That is a massive cognitive jump from literary inference to pure logic.
Let's look at another comparison to see this in action. For English, we have an emotional inference question. It describes Priya with shaking hands and a fast-beating heart, standing on a diving board looking down at the pool, and simply asks, how was Priya feeling? The student has to choose between bored, nervous, or scared, very hot or angry. It's a test of empathetic reading, right? But then over on the reasoning paper, they face a vocabulary odd ones out puzzle. They get 5 words: absurd, ridiculous, plausible, preposterous, and credible. And they have to find the 2 words that don't belong. To solve this, they have to recognize that absurd, ridiculous, and preposterous are synonyms, meaning plausible and credible are the odd ones out. Practicing these rapid context switches on Applaa is just invaluable for their mental stamina.
Section 5. Understanding your final score.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this specific target number right here, 332. When the results finally come out, you aren't just looking for a simple percentage grade. Students generally need a specific aggregate score to even qualify for grammar school consideration. And traditionally, this target goal sits right around 332 or higher. But keep in mind, this is an aggregate, and there are minimum thresholds per individual section. So a student can't simply bomb the math section and completely make up for it with a perfect English score. They really have to demonstrate a strong baseline across the board to achieve that 332 target.
Now, if you're the parent of a summer-born child, you might be feeling a bit of anxiety right now about them competing with older kids, but you really don't need to. The Kent test uses what's called standardized scoring. Because there's obviously a massive developmental difference between a child born in September and one born the following August, the raw results are mathematically adjusted for the child's exact age in years and months. This ensures absolute fairness across the entire Year 6 cohort, basically guaranteeing that younger students are not disadvantaged in any way when they're chasing that 332 aggregate pass mark.
So we've walked through the whole structure, the exact question types you'll see, the crucial Applaa mock testing environment, and exactly how that standardized scoring works. It's definitely a rigorous process, but as you can see, it is highly predictable. The only question left is this: are you ready to demystify the 11 Plus and conquer the Kent test with confidence? Proper preparation truly does turn anxiety into empowerment. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy learning.